Hey everybody. Sorry, I was adjusting the camera. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome, welcome. So we're going to talk about the hidden agenda with everything that's going on. We're going to talk about a lot of interesting things as well. So I want to welcome everybody here tonight. If we have any kind of problem tonight, guys, just please be patient. I will jump right back on if there's any kind of interruptions, which we hope there's not. Hopefully, this goes off without a hitch and we'll be okay. Okay, so just be patient. If there's a problem, I will be right back on. I'd like to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. So please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. Be decent to each other as well. Okay. So also, if you have a question, uh, that will be kicked. Yeah, right, exactly. Um, if you have a question, please all cap locks. Okay, so it stands out for me and I see it better, and it just helps with everything. So, all right, so let us jump into this here. So, hidden agendas, what's going on, right? So, let's talk about real quickly, let's talk about that one mayor in the one town in Illinois, and I can't remember exactly what town it is. I'm sure you guys could tell me off the top of your heads there. But there is a mayor that has given herself special privileges to enact that people are not allowed to buy alcohol or guns during this crisis in her town, which I think is absolutely ludicrous. I think that is insane. I mean, who is she to dictate what people can and cannot do? At this point, as far as especially, I mean, not even so much the guns, realistically, but the alcohol. Really? I mean, I think that is just insane. Uh, Per Snapchats, nurses in Boston have been reusing their masks for over a week. Let's get into that. Let's start out with that. Let's talk about the nurses here, guys. We had there was the system is doomed. Okay, the medical system is doomed, and that's coming from doctors and nurses. Hey, SoundThink, the nation's biggest home builder sent me an email saying they're ceasing productions. We are heading into a depression. Yeah, I believe that we are big time. Thank you very much for that donation and thank you for that comment. Yeah, it's we're definitely headed for a depression. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Want to get back. Thank you for that donation too. By the way, I do appreciate that. Let me get back to what we're talking about with the nurses and the doctors. The medical system is absolutely going to be overwhelmed with this thing. It's already starting to happen. And again, if you remember in my last stream, I talked about on a good day, hospitals are at 95% capacity just with normal everyday stuff that is going on. Not even talking about a pandemic situation. Okay, so when you look at it from that perspective, it is crazy. So let me just doctors and nurses do not have the right proper gear that they need to have to be able to treat this. There's certain nurses around the country that have been told you have to take care of those people even if you don't have a mask, okay? Because of what they do is they hold their jobs over their head. And if they don't follow the play by the administrative rules and games, then they'll fire you and then they'll blackball you and then they'll go after your nursing license. I've seen it happen, guys. I've seen management in different facilities have somebody that they don't like or they don't care for, and they try to go after them. It's just silly little games like little 5-year-olds would play. Nurseman 55G, silver solution, inhale through a vape pen, neb. Hold on a second. Neb treatment helpful. Well, you know what? It's hard to say. I can't say that it would hurt. Okay. But I can't say that that's going to be helpful as well. Anything that you can do to help boost your immune system is not a bad thing. I will say that. Okay. Thank you very much for that donation. I do appreciate it. Hey, SouthThink, appreciate the information you provide. Sorry to interrupt. All the best. Not a problem. Thank you very much. I appreciate the donation, and thank you for that. I appreciate that. Not an issue, guys. Some people don't like it with the interruptions, but I'm going to put it out there right in the very beginning here. If somebody does a super chat, I'm going to address it, okay? I figure if they take the time to actually make a donation, that I should do that. Prepper Chris 1, wife found a study saying copper may be the answer. I had not heard that. Champaign, Illinois is the town. KRFJR. Thank you very much. Yes, Champaign, Illinois. Thank you very much. Thank you both for the donation as well. I do appreciate that. Yeah, so that mayor in that town enacted and giving herself the power to dictate what can and cannot be done. Okay, so we're going to talk about the whole thing with the different states, including New York now, and Illinois is another one, where they're going to dictate to people, don't go to work, stay home, that type of thing. Okay, we're going to jump into all that very, very shortly here. But I want to get back to the nurses and doctors and not having enough proper equipment. And I'm going to say this again, guys. If the doctors and nurses that take care of people get the virus and get sick and die or out of commission for an extended period of time, who's going to take care of people then? I want you to think about that, because that's really, really important, okay? People are not paying attention. They're not, the management, and again, and I'll say it 100 million times, and anybody that's in management can contradict me, but nurses, doctors, CNA, any kind of staff knows management does not give a crap about staff. Never have, never will. It's always about the bottom line and the dollar at the end of the day. That's all they care about. They do not care about the people that take care of the loved ones of other people. They just don't. So the problem that I have is the nurses and the doctors really not having the protective gear that they need to have. That is a huge, huge issue, and we need to really address that, okay? Talk a little bit about hidden agendas. Hey, Noah Hall, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hidden agendas. What's other things are being, going on? There's always going to be that gun grab, guys. They're always going to try to make an excuse for the gun grab. You have the different states are now basically saying, New York is one of them, California, Illinois is another one. There may be more out there. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that those three for sure are saying, okay, non-essential personnel do not go to work, shelter in place, and that's it, right? In New York, I know Cuomo has worked with the banks here, and they're doing 90 days where people cannot be booted out of their homes for non-payment of rent, and that mortgage payments are going to be held for, basically put on the back end for the 90 days. So people in financial crisis, all right? So that's going to be helpful. But so so they're doing that for 90 days. I'm going to give you another example of something, okay? So they're talking about a 2-week, let's talk about that, a 2-week period of time when they are going to have this, mandatory type of quarantine type of thing to fight the virus. My neighbor, young lady next door to me, she works for, she collects student loan debts, okay? And so that's her job. So she basically works for the government in that aspect. Hey, Beach Blonde, hospital administrations will answer for their own treatment of people on the front lines. If not in this life, then in the next. Meanwhile, they get 6-figure bonuses. Yeah, you are exactly right. You're exactly right. And thank you very much for that donation as well. I do appreciate that. Thank you. So she just got told there's 60 days. They're going to be out of work for 60 days. So she'll probably have to apply for unemployment, and that's been exploding because more and more people are being put out of work, and now they're having to apply for unemployment, right? Hey, Pam, is construction-grade PPE okay for nurses and doctors? That would absolutely help. I mean, that should be okay. That absolutely would. Let's put it like this: realistically, something is better than nothing, to be honest with you. So yeah, that would be better than having nothing at all. So thank you very much for that donation as well. So anyway, she's been told 60 days. She's going to be out of work for 60 days. Hey, Greg, thank you very much for that donation. I do appreciate it. Thank you. If they're talking about a 2-week lockdown, why are they putting people out of work for 60 days? Why is the government saying that they're going to defer mortgages and stuff like that for 90 days? Does that make sense to you if this is only going to be a 2-week event? I'm telling you right now, this event is going to be a lot longer than 2 weeks. It is going to be very trying. I'm going to give you just an example from day over day. Now, they're finally testing more people. Banks on the edge of failing, cash is king. Hutzker just said that. Thank you very much for the donation. And I can't disagree with you there. Having cash on hand is definitely the way to go. The Oracle of Whimsy, if you If you are a seamstress, the hospitals need people to make masks. Oh, there you go. Thank you both for that donation. I do appreciate that as well. So somebody's saying on here, Tiber just said 6 months at least, which I think it probably is going to be longer than that. There's things out there by the government. They're planning this to be 12 to 18 months. So think about that. Oh, the tax deadline was pushed back. Right. JJ just said that by 3 months as well. I just saw that as well. That just came out today as well. So here's the thing. Let's talk about this a second. Let's talk about this. The government right now, we're going to jump all over because that's what I do. I'm going to tell you what. The people that don't like it that I jump all over, I am a Gemini, okay? Which means I'm an air sign, which means I think. My rising sign and my moon sign are also air signs. So I think like 10 times more than the average person. My brain is always going. So I will jump around. So if you don't like that, I apologize. That's just the way it is. Hey, Mountain Girl. Sadly, the system was broken before Trump took office. Previous administration hadn't dealt with it, hence shortage of supplies, just one reason. I agree with you 100% on that. The last administration definitely dropped the ball a ton. I think Trump was trying to fix things, and he just got a big old mess dropped in his lap. And I think things are going to get a lot worse. Thank you very much for that donation as well. I do appreciate that. Thank you. So going back to jumping around here, right? So, well, here's something. Okay, I wanted to bring up this really quickly. So, New York State. So what we're going to do, I'm going to give you yesterday's numbers first. So yesterday's numbers for New York State was 4,597 cases with 22 deaths, right? With one recovered. Now, I want to remember that, with one recovered. Today, it's up to 7,245 new cases. That's 2,648 new cases in one day, all right? We're up to 39 deaths, which is 18 more than before. Hey, Greg, the stimulus will create hyperinflation on goods. Well, we're going to talk about that in a second, and thank you very much for that donation as well. We are going to talk about that. Now, the recovered for New York State is now back to zero. What happened to that person that recovered? Did they get sick again? Okay. So you're talking about, and that's plus 18 deaths. In the United States, we are up to 19,286 cases with 250 deaths. That's plus 63 deaths from yesterday with 125 people recovered. Okay, so looking at it just from that perspective, 250 dead, 125 recovered. That's a 2-to-1 ratio of people dying to recovering. Now let's go back to China, right? China is saying that they got all these people recovered and so few deaths. In the meantime, Italy, with 47,000 cases, has 4,032 deaths now. That's a jump from yesterday, a huge jump from yesterday, and with 4,440 recovered. So they're at about 50-50 for recovering and death rate on there. And you have 47,000 people that are sick right now in Italy. These numbers are not adding up. They're not adding up. China obviously has been lying since day one. I think today they said that there was 25 new cases and only 3 new deaths in China. I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. Hey, Baroness, I feel like we're being lied to. Also, the press conferences are becoming dance sessions. They dance around tough questions. Exactly. Here's something that I think you'll find interesting as well, and I just saw this. This just came out. One of the members of Pence's staff has tested positive for the coronavirus. So that's interesting. So that's the vice president. Somebody on his staff just tested positive for the virus. So bye-bye football and baseball season. Yeah, exactly. I don't think you're going to see it happening. I know they keep trying to say they're going to push back baseball season, but I don't see them trying to get that in this. I don't think it's going to happen. Guys, if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, if you would do that, I see we're up to 2.3 thousand in the chat. We're 498 on the thumbs up. If you would shoot a thumbs up to show support for the channel, I absolutely would appreciate that, and thank you ahead of time. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do subscribe so you get all the notifications, and so and make sure you hit that bell icon as well. All right. And so, but anyway, let's get back to the original thing that I was talking about with the title. Okay, hidden agenda. So what's the hidden agenda with this whole thing? I know a lot of people are trying to put a lot of spins on different things, and oh my goodness, You're going to have to excuse me. I have to do my full-time job for a moment as a professional doorman because my cat wants to go out and he won't stop. Buddy, going outside? Come on. Come on. Sorry about that, guys. JAEUFM, when the elites, wait a minute, I want to see what you said here. Hold on. When will the elites and politicians head for their secret bunkers? I think as things continue to get worse, I think you're going to see that happen, to be honest with you. And it won't surprise me at all when that does happen. I'm sure some of them are already there, to be honest with you. A lot of crazy stuff going on. Lots of craziness. You know, it's... you have, I mean, these numbers, the way that they're jumping up. And here's something I want you, we're going to talk about the stimulus bill in a second too, guys. I promise I'm going to get back to that, okay? But when you're talking about these numbers that are coming out in the jump in numbers, I want you to remember. So let's talk, you know, like New York, okay? So New York is up to 7,245 cases with 39 dead, all right? No recoveries in New York. They're not even really full-blown into testing people yet. So I want you to think about that. Let's take that into consideration. There are thousands upon thousands of people walking around that have the virus, that are continuing to spread the virus, that do not know that they're sick because of the incubation period, okay? This thing is spreading like wildfire. And it's not just in New York. Obviously, it's all over. But when, you know, you have these different governors are locking things down, what's the next step? What is the next step after they're saying don't go to work and no unnecessary travel? And I think a lot of people are abiding by that. I mean, the grocery stores are still open. The gas stations are still open. TARANTUL lady. What about Germany? They appear to be lying. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me go back to your comment. I want to make sure I read it. They have the fourth highest number of cases and very few deaths. Doesn't add up. No, it doesn't. And I'm sure that they are lying. Every government, let's reiterate this, okay? So every government is lying. Guaranteed. Hey, Maria, doctor said the sick use CPAP all day and night. If sick, use a CPAP all day and night. All right, well, thank you for that information. I'm sure it can't hurt if it's going to help your breathing. Absolutely, that's not a bad idea at all. Thank you both for that donation, too. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Prepper Chris Warren, when are we going to be the third worst country? We'll definitely be we'll probably be right up there near number one as soon as they actually get some of these tests out there and give people tests the way that they should be giving tests. There's a lot of people, guys, walking around sick that don't even know that they're sick. Hey, Josh, this is a good time to have a German Shepherd. You know, I'm going to tell you what, not even just a German Shepherd, any kind of dog. Any kind of dog gives you that early warning system. They're going to hear somebody outside your home way before you do, and they're going to give you that early warning. And that's realistically what all of us, always looking for the edge. As preppers, as off-gridders, we need to always look for that edge, okay? And I think that's really, really important. So if you're looking for that edge and you got a dog, any kind of dog, it gives you that early warning system to let you know that there is an intruder or somebody bad. That is not a bad thing in any way, shape, or form. That is always going to be a good thing, okay? So, and I got to show you, actually she's here, so she'll see the mug. This is the mug that Mountain Girl sent me down. Absolutely love this mug. It is awesome. So, yeah, I've been using it. I don't know if she's seen it in the stream or not. So Mountain Girl, I love that mug. I think that is very, very cool. I've told everybody, I will be drinking this mug in the halls of Valhalla one day. So there you go. With the rest of the Norsemen. All right. Let's see. Believe it or hold on. I want to see what that person said. About cats. Oh, where did that go? I missed that. I lost that comment, guys. I'm sorry. The chat does go really fast, so I do apologize. But anyway, So let's go. Let's talk about let's change wheels again here. Let's talk about this stimulus package. They're trying to pass an $850 billion stimulus package. And here's my thought with that. Okay, they want to give everybody 1,200 bucks now. And now they've talked this 1,200 bucks. 1,200 bucks ain't going to pay the bills. That might get you groceries and stuff for a few weeks, pay some bills, but that's not going to pay the bills. Okay. If they're passing an $850 billion spending package, and realistically, where's that money coming from? We're just going to pull that out of the air, another $1 trillion to add to the debt. You know what I mean? My thought is this. If you're going to do that kind of stimulus package, give each American citizen the exact same amount of money out of that $850 billion, divide that up, give each American citizen whatever that divides out to be. And I don't know what that would end up being. You want to stimulate the economy? That's how you stimulate the economy. Don't give it to big businesses. Don't give it to big industry, okay? Because right now, I mean, let's think about this, okay? Business-wise, who's hurting from this thing? I just saw a commercial today from Ford, all right? So here's a good example. Ford is trying to sell cars, right? That's what they're in a business to do, to sell cars. I just saw the commercial. They will defer 3 payments plus pay 3 payments. So you'll have no car payment if you buy a car now for the next 6 months. Sounds like a great deal, right? Hey, Prepper Chris 1, you can use your cats as grenades. Hold on a second. Just shake and throw. Yeah, they would not be happy cats if you did that. No, they would not be. So, but thank you for that donation too. That's very funny. But again, so you have this issue with the cars companies trying to sell cars. They're not selling cars, right? I know GM just shut everything down because they're not going to be making anything for. They have to the halls of Valhalla. That's right. Yep, John Serbo, absolutely. But thank you for the donation too. I do appreciate that. So you got your car companies. Your airlines are getting decimated. I mean, I just talked about Delta the other day that 70% of their flights they just canceled, laid off over 10,000 people, right? So you got your airlines. You have your car dealerships. How about the restaurant business? They're asking for $450 billion in a bailout to help the restaurant industry. Think about how decimated they are when you don't have people coming in to eat at your restaurants. What about all the waitresses? That's how they make their livings, is on those tips. They're not getting those tips right now. They're not making that money. And that's how a lot of them, most waitresses, and I'm not going to say all because that's a horrible thing to say is all, but a lot of waitresses are single moms that are trying to raise their kids, and that's the money that they're using to do that. Hey, Donna Smith. Hey, Ed, I think they're locking New York, California. Oh, hold on a second. Illinois down to make a national lockdown easier on the system. New York City police are getting hit by the virus too. 35 are in quarantine. You know what? And that doesn't surprise me at all. And thank you very much for the donation. I do appreciate that. And thank you for that comment. What's going to happen? So, and somebody pointed this out to me today, and I have to do a correction here. I said, California and New York are the biggest for population. Well, New York is 4th largest. So I apologize for that, for misspeaking. I don't always say everything right, so I apologize. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to be the first one coming on here telling you guys that I was wrong. So I definitely do want to apologize for misspeaking and saying that New York has so many people. But I keep forgetting that people are leaving New York in droves, But anyway, if they keep locking things down, how long is it going to be before? Okay, so you get the National Guard out there and everything else. They're going to get sick too. That's something to think about. They're going to get sick as well. So those are things that are going to happen. Fish Glow in the Dark said 3,500. That's what each person would get. Okay, so give that as a stimulus package. Give that to each citizen. That would actually help a lot more than $1,200. That might keep people going for a couple of months. Especially if they're deferring mortgage payments and stuff like that. Hey, Senile Traveler, want your opinion. Do you think mosquitoes will spread the virus as it gets warmer? You know what? I've thought about that. And you would have to, out where I am in the country, it's not going to be a lot of people to people with the mosquitoes. Okay. So if you have a group of people and somebody's sick and a mosquito bites one person and goes to a next person. I think it's a possibility that could happen, and that's my opinion. I have no basis of fact on that. But out here in the country, you got a lot more animals and stuff like that. So if we get hit by mosquitoes, probably not going to be carrying the virus. But again, I think that it could happen. And again, that's just my opinion. But thank you for that question, and thank you very much for that donation as well. Hold on a second. Heard executive order for the car manufacturers will be converted into medical equipment. CMI just said that. Gene Phillips. Okay. Thank you for that information. I know that they're trying to. Here's something else that I wanted to point out. And this is something that I was thinking about too. Okay. So Cuomo, our esteemed governor of New York, who is a piece of garbage in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. I'm not a big fan. He is stating, let's see if I wrote it down here. Okay, yep. New York State only has between 5,000 and 6,000 ventilators, all right? Will likely need more than 30,000. That's what, this is coming from Cuomo. They're saying that most likely they're going to need 30,000 ventilators, and they only have between 5,000 and 6,000 here, all right? That's something to think about, especially when right now we only have 7,200 people infected with the virus, supposedly, in New York. Scary things to think about. We do not have enough medical equipment. We do not have enough medical gear to protect our nurses and doctors and our CNAs and our phlebotomists and everybody else working in the hospital system. We need to have enough. We do, okay? There's not enough people to replace them. There is nobody to replace them. When you're talking about nurses with years and years and years of experience, and if they get sick and they're out of commission, who replaces them? So we need to make sure that we're protecting those people in the proper way, not having them reuse equipment. That's ridiculous. I'll tell you right now, thank God I can just say I am not still working actively as a nurse, because the minute management came to me and said, you have to reuse equipment, I'd tell them, I'll see you later, have a nice day. Because there's no way. Because you know what? That's your life. You're risking, if there's doctors or nurses watching this, and you're risking your life for stupidity because of management, don't do it. Because you know what's going to happen? If you get sick, you're going to go home, and then you're going to give it to your family. Do you want to give it to your kids? Do you want to give it to your husband or your wife? No way. That's just terrible. Terrible. New York is at, hold on a second. I want to see what that person said. Hold on. New York is at 40%. World Health Organization has CVS. Kat just said that. You know what? I don't know if it's at 40%, but I think that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get it. Do you think forced vaccinations will be? No, I don't. You know what? They cannot force you to get a vaccination. That's not going to happen. We're still technically a free country. So I don't see forced vaccinations coming. Absolutely not. Nope, absolutely not. And again, that's my opinion. You can think differently, and that's fine. I'm not going to judge you or tell you you're a horrible person because you think differently. You can think whatever you want. In my opinion, I don't see that. This is a virus that's out there, okay? It's happening. It's real. As many people that keep trying to dismiss it and saying that it's not real. What do you think of Trump calling out the deep state in, hold on a second, I wanted to see what that comment was. Deep state in Fauci face palming. You know what? I didn't see it, so I don't know what was said. So I really can't give you an answer on that. So I apologize. But hey, Matthew, Pennsylvania stopped all gun sales and closed all gun stores as of midnight tonight. Will not reopen until further notice. Okay. Thank you for that information. I did not know that. Guys, I'm going to tell you what. Behind closed doors, it's a gun grab. Always going to be a gun grab. Murray, M-A-R-I. Hold on a second. Cats are very good guards. Mine has once hurt a person on my patio, and I was able to call 911, and they caught the guy. Wow. Okay, I did not know that. Thank you very much. Yeah, cats are pretty intuitive too. They're pretty sharp. So thank you for that information. Thanks for sharing that with us. That's pretty wild. But going back to what you were saying about Pennsylvania, I did not know that, and that's kind of scary. Well, because you got to remember, guys, and we talked about this the other day. There's not ammo to be had, and people are buying guns like crazy. So, who makes that rule that you can't do that? I mean, is that the governor doing that? Ed, I expected this virus to die out in the summer heat. Terrence Parker Jr. I don't think it's going to, Terrence. I think you may have a lull in the summer, maybe, but I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see it rear its ugly head again. This thing is going to be far from over. Yes. Rhode Island plumber just said, "Time to clean the firearms." Again, guys, I'm going to tell you what. If they try to disarm people, you're going to have to make a tough decision at that point. If they try to take away what you have, you're going to also have another tough decision. Okay, we prep for a reason. We've been doing this for a lot of us for a long, long time. I've been doing it for years. Okay, so I worked way too hard to have what I have to allow somebody to come in here and just take what I have. It's not going to happen. Okay, so, and if that ends up costing me my life, so be it. But that's not going to be. I'm not. Let's put it like this: police officers, those guys are just like everybody else. They don't want to go to work and they don't want to die. And if they are told that they need to go and confiscate, I think a lot of them are going to balk at that and not do it. I really do. So, Ed, I heard that Gaston County in North Carolina is under quarantine. I did not hear that. Ragnar just said that. Thank you for that information. I did not hear that, but thank you. It won't surprise me as things continue to amp up. You're going to see more and more things happening. So, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Somebody said something. Thank God I didn't switch from 40 to a 9mm. I still can't find ammo. Wow. The Oracle of Whimsy, you missed my super chat. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have another one? Let me go back up here and see if I can find it. I apologize, guys. If I miss something, it's not on purpose and it's not a slight. Let's see. Hold on one second. I want to see if I can find that. I'm not seeing what you said, so I apologize if I missed your super chat. I'm sorry. What are your thoughts on Canada right now? You know what, Canada, they're just like us, guys. They're just like Americans. They really are. They're dealing with the same kind of crap that we're dealing with here. I think a lot of Canadians are really good people, and you're led by an idiot, just like New York, we have an idiot governor. So, it's the same type of thing. So it's just, hey, Mac, if your firearms aren't dirty, you haven't been practicing. Exactly. Well, that's the thing is, and if ammo's getting harder and harder to get, very, very difficult, you know what I mean? So you better conserve rounds, but definitely know what you're doing with what you have. Practice is always a good thing. So, North Shore Preparedness shout out from Canada here. Okay, very cool. Like I said, I love Canada. Partied up there plenty of times. I have some friends up in Canada, some great people that I've known through the years, and fellow preppers that are up there that I've talked with from time to time as well. I think Canada's awesome. Oh wow. I don't even know how to say your name here. Hold on a second. Let me see. Spazatron McGee. Thank you very much for that donation. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Thank you so much. I love that name too, Spazatron. I looked at first, I'm like, I gotta say that right. But yeah, guys, I'll tell you, just the biggest thing there's a lot of information coming in from all over, and this is going to be a very fluid thing that's going to happen. Do I think we're headed towards? Here's the thing: I think we're headed for martial law, but they won't call it martial law, if that makes any sense. Hey, Madeline, many still say this is a hoax. Thanks. You know what? They are. I know a lot of people are still saying that. Thank you for that donation as well. I don't think this is a hoax. I really don't. Italy is asking student nurses to help. Christian just said that. Christian Carroll. Yeah, and it doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. But again, BB guns and slingshots are awesome for hunting. Oh, absolutely. BB guns, slingshots. If you can have, compound bows, crossbows, anything that does it very, very quietly. Again, as this thing accelerates and gets worse, the last thing you want to do is draw your attention to yourself with gunfire. Now, if somebody's trying to come and take your stuff and they have bad intentions, you do what you got to do. But if you're out hunting, definitely do it as quietly as you possibly can. I talked about this the other day too. Trapping and snares. Really important, guys. If you know somebody that knows how to do trapping and knows how to set snares, definitely get with those people and learn. There's books on it too. You can get that information out of books, but that comes down to practice, practice, practice. So those are important things to pay attention to as well. Guys, we're at 2.4 in the chat. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet at this point, I would ask you to do that to show support for the channel. And thank you for that ahead of time. And again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you hit that bell icon as well to get all notifications. And thank you ahead of time about that. Why don't we hear about Russia? Jeanette just asked that question. Because they're keeping very close to their breast, just like North Korea is. They're not letting out their numbers. They're not sharing that information with people. And that's not surprising. Okay, hold on a second. My comment was about Germany. Their numbers are higher because they're catching cases earlier before the symptoms are critical. Their numbers will likely increase. Oh, I did not. Okay, well, thank you for that comment. I appreciate that. If they're doing rapid testing and they're testing more people, that's why I don't get it with the United States. We've known this thing was coming. We know it was over in China and what was going on, and why we did not prepare weeks and weeks and weeks ago before it became an issue here and got proper test kits. And North Shore Preparedness, shout out to Marfugel from Toronto. Yes, okay, let's talk about Marfugel News a second, guys. Awesome, awesome guy. Adam is fantastic. I highly recommend you go over there. He's a West Coast guy. Obviously, I'm an East Coast guy. He's good people. I consider him my friend. Adam from Marfugel News. So it's Marfugel News. If somebody could, one of my moderators could shoot the link up in the chat for everybody. Adam has a lot of great information. Definitely go check him out. Tell him the Prepper Nurse One sent you. All of us on YouTube, guys, creators out here, we should be supporting each other, not fighting against each other. And there's some, obviously, that are fighting against each other, which is sad. I will never say anything negative as far as another mod or another creator goes. Certain channels that I don't care for, I don't watch. That's the way I do it. If I don't care for somebody, I don't watch them. But Marfugel News, definitely highly recommend that you guys go and show him some support and show him some love. So, yes, and he is in Washington State. Yep, he is in Washington State, where everything started here in the U.S. So, yep, I agree. We should have been prepared months ago. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. If you know something's coming, actually, I shouldn't be surprised because it's typical. Why is it typical? We have hurricane season in the U.S., right? Hurricane's coming. In a week, it might hit here, here, here. What do people do? They wait to 2 days before that hurricane is going to hit, and then they go do something about it. We have a horrible procrastination attitude in this country, and I think that's part of the problem. How am I sleeping? I've been actually sleeping really, really good, to be honest with you. Trying to get as much rest as I can. Tomorrow, and I'll show video of it. Tomorrow we're building the new battery room. So Greg is going to come down, and we're going to work on that. So I'll do some video on that tomorrow. So I'll throw that up there for you guys so you guys can see. But that's what we're going to be working on tomorrow. It's going to be an 8x8 room that will be the new battery room. So I'm looking forward to having that up. I did order new batteries, and I will be going over all that when they get here. And so a lot of stuff is going to be happening here at the homestead. We're going to continue to work on things here. That's what we're going to do. And, that's what you have to do. You have to continue on with life. You can't hide in the closet and cry in the corner because that's not going to change anything. You still have to move on with life. Opportunities to still prep are still there. Okay. I wanted to mention this again because I don't think a lot of people have thought about this. Secondary stores as far as getting supplies. your Vietnamese stores, your Chinese stores, your Hispanic stores. You're going to be your Amish stores. Okay, if you can still get to those places, that is a great resource to get supplies that is not being overrun and inundated like the regular grocery stores are. You can buy beans and rice in bulk, and it's probably actually going to be cheaper than if you bought it from the regular, regular store. I know with the Amish, you can get, 50-pound bags of flour. Easy, no problem at all. Okay, so those are options that I think you guys need to really take advantage of if you can, because that's an alternative for people to use out there. So I just wanted to put that out there for you guys if somebody hadn't thought of that already. Marshall Hurst just said, make your own 9mm. Yeah, well, you can. If you're able to do that. Remington Arms is not making guns for the next month. M. Doza just said, wow. Yeah, I know a lot of things are shutting down. Chris 1 says we don't have Amish. Well, I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. My daughter went off to the Asian market and got tons of stuff cheap. Gina Cooper just said that. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Guys, take advantage of that other stuff. You don't have to just go to Walmart. I mean, there's a lot of other options out there. I mean, I know Walmart's the big giant all over the place, but there's a lot of other options. And again, at this time, I don't want to be in a store with a whole bunch of other people. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't gone to the grocery store now since, well, I stopped at a local Save-A-Lot last Sunday. I think I did. And, but I have no intention of going back to a local store anytime soon. Not at all. I will hit those secondary stores, and do that as well. North Shore was thinking about this. Hold on a second. I want to get that comment. I was thinking about this even before coming back, like other viruses or flus. Yes, I think it will come back. Again, viruses mutate, guys, and maybe in the summer it might die down. Let's hope it does. But there could be a 1-2 punch. So we get this one here, and then in the fall it might come back much, much harder. Okay, so those are things to think about as well. Nevada cases are rising steadily. I think are rising steadily all over. But when we have New York City is a big old petri dish. It's a huge area. A lot of people jammed in there. And so that'll, here's the interesting thing. I'm curious to see what the numbers will be in a month from now in New York City, because that will give us a more clear picture of like Wuhan, China, and the number of people is kind of comparable. There's 11 million people in Wuhan, China. There's 8.5 million people in New York City. So it'll be really curious to see what those numbers correlate with that at that point and what they said they were over there. I guarantee it's going to be huge, huge numbers in New York City. So, yep, Illinois is on lockdown starting tomorrow at 5. I know New York goes on lockdown starting Sunday night, so Sunday at midnight. So, Karen Hill just said, hey, everyone, thumbs up. Hey, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. You have to think outside the box at times like this. Yep, you absolutely do. It's a great time to not think of the normal, think about other things. How can I get what I need? So, okay, a great example, okay? And I told this story already, but I'm going to tell it again. So one of my subscribers had talked about other secondary stores, not grocery stores, but other stuff to get, right? Hardware stores, propane, that type of stuff. So I said, you know what? That's really, really smart. And it was a great comment. And I told him it was a great comment. And I told him I would put it on here and tell everybody too, because I think it's really important. I went down to the propane company, okay? Nobody in the store. And so I said to the lady, I would like to get, some more propane. I said, do you have any 30 or 40 pound tanks? They were completely out of 30 and 40 pound tanks. She told me as soon as those come in, people buy them up like crazy, and they get like 7 or 8 in at a time and they're gone completely. And I said, okay, well, do you have 20 pound tanks? And she said, yes, we have 20 pound tanks. I said, how much? She told me the price. I said, okay, I'll take 3 20 pound tanks, and had those 3 20 pound tanks filled and brought back here to the homestead. Anybody that's watched the channel knows I have a 330 pound propane tank in my yard, okay? But having backups to your backups is never a bad thing, I can't hook up that propane tank to my gas grill. So now I have 3 more propane tanks ready to go in that emergency situation. I bought more gas cans, got more gas. So I added to my gas supply as well. I think that's important to do as well. Just smart things to do, guys. I hit the local hardware store that we have in town. I bought more screws, nails, and all that type of stuff. Because again, we don't, first of all, we don't know how bad this thing is going to get. You're going to use that stuff eventually anyway. Hey, Mac, think outside the box while popping inside the box. Exactly. That's funny. But it's just think about things that you need. What might you need? If it was a long-term grid down, and not say grid down, but situation down where we cannot travel and move around, because I think you're going to see more and more restrictive measures happening as time goes on. Again, what is the other agendas? They're going to try to, like I said, somebody just said, Pennsylvania just closed all the gun stores and stopped all gun sales for who knows how long. Why are they doing that? What, people are not allowed to protect themselves? They don't want you to protect yourselves. I'll tell you what they don't want is when they enact stricter and more stringent rules against you, taking more of your rights away, then they don't want you to fight back. Hey, Uper Viking, we have to drive hold on a second. We have to drive from Wisconsin to Chicago to pick up your daughter. What do we need to do to prepare? What can we expect? I would definitely have masks to be able to use if you're going to be in that airport. I would walk into that airport with a mask on for sure, goggles, even gloves. I would have all 3 of those things on if you're going to that airport with a whole bunch of other people, especially from people coming from overseas, because you don't know who has what. Just make sure your gas tank is full. Don't if you get to a half a tank, make sure you're filling that up. Have supplies with you in your car just in case, because you just never know. Make sure you have an emergency kit in that car as far as supplies, food, water, other things that you need to do to get back home. I'm very, very happy that your daughter is coming home. I know that was a big concern for you, and that was really something that was on my mind too, especially as a father. I couldn't even imagine what you guys have gone through as parents with your child overseas, and that would rip my heart out, knowing that whatever's going on, that's going on, and you can't have your child home and keep them safe. That's heartbreaking. It really is. So I'm really, really happy that she's coming home and that you guys are going to be able to get her soon, which is great. But yeah, just be as safe as you possibly can be. If you can go armed, go armed. Obviously, you can't walk into the airport armed, but be able to protect yourself. Chicago is a crazy place. So a lot of people getting shot. I don't know if you guys saw this one. Changing things again because something else just popped into my head. The mayor of Baltimore asked people to please stop shooting each other so that we can free up beds for people that are sick with the coronavirus. Unbelievable. I mean, you can't make that up. You cannot make that up. James just said alcohol spray. Hold on. Meet her outside and spray her down. Well, you absolutely could do that too. You might want to isolate her for a while too. Have her in your house, but have her isolated away from everybody else. That might be a good idea. Make sure she wears a mask home. That's another thing. Make sure she's protecting herself to protect you guys. With a run on guns, hold on a second. I wanted to read that comment. With a run on guns, go for bows and crossbows, air guns, etc. No background check for those. LT Smash just said that. Thank you for that advice. That's very good advice, and thank you. MHANI Alexander, MTA driver hold on a second. In Manhattan sees Army doing drills. Okay, wow, that was on Facebook. Okay, well, thank you for that information. And thank you both for that donation as well. The Grove, make sure you have a means for water in the case people at the water plants go home to take care of their families. Good advice, very good advice, and thank you for that donation as well. Prepper Chris 1, tip yard plus 4x4 equals fun. Yes. Thank you guys for those donations as well, and good comments, good advice. Make sure you have a way to purify water. More people will die from dysentery if this thing gets really, really bad than they will from the virus, from drinking tainted water. If people don't have access to clean drinking water or have a way to purify that water, they're going to be in big trouble because they're going to drink anyway because people are stupid, okay? And they're not thinking. Well, it's clear, it looks okay, and they'll drink it, and they'll get a bug, and then they'll have diarrhea, and then they will die because there's not going to be anybody there to treat them. So don't put yourself in that situation. What about getting through the lockdown? Getting through the lockdown, like I said, just be ready to protect what you have. Try to be as safe as you possibly can be. I think that's really, really important. Get a big Berkey, Mac just said. Yes, and thank you, Mac, for that donation as well. Big Berkeys are great to have. I obviously have one, and I have no affiliation with the Berkeys at all. I just actually went out and bought extra filters, and I think I talked to you guys about that. Very, very smart. But lockdown situation, if we're in a lockdown situation, we're told not to leave. If you have to shelter in place, hopefully you guys have prepared. Hopefully you've been listening and prepared for this situation and gotten ready. I really, truly hope that you have. Have a way to defend yourself. Don't let somebody come in your home and take what you have that you've worked hard to get. Because I think as supplies run out for people will get nasty. And the kindest, nicest person you ever saw, give them a few days with no food and no supplies and no power or anything else, and you're going to see the animal come out in people. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, and this is not a joke, and I'm not, liquor stores closed down in Pennsylvania as well. Man, Pennsylvania is no fun whatsoever. What's wrong with that? No liquor, no guns. Good thing you prepared, hopefully. I know I did. So, but anyway, I'm making a joke there, but all joking aside, human beings are the most vicious animal on this planet. We kill for pleasure. We kill because we like to kill each other. And all we need is an excuse. And we can justify anything in our minds of why it's okay that we're going to do what we're going to do. And I want you guys to remember that, okay? You're going to have desperate people. It's going to be desperate times. And people do very bad things when they're desperate. You better make sure you're able to protect who you care about, the ones you love, and that type of thing. That's really, really important. So please do that. Please protect the people that you care about, okay? That's what I told my friend, Lady Kickboxer just said that. Yeah, I mean, we're horrible. We're horrible to each other. Civilization, guys, it's a thin veil. It's this little thin veil between normalcy and anarchy. Very, very thin veil. You take away all the creature comforts of people. You take away the drug addicts' access to get their drugs. And again, so here's the thing: is we got this, shelter in place rule. Everybody stay in your homes. Don't go anywhere. Stay in the house. But if you're a homeless person, that doesn't apply to you. It's okay. You just continue to go ahead and do whatever you want to do. Does that make any kind of sense? At all? At all? None. They can go ahead and still be all over the place, touching everything, moving around, doing all kinds of stuff. Unbelievable. Sawyer squeeze, 100,000 gallons. Yes, Sawyer, if you're going to get a water filter, a Sawyer water filter is the best one that you can possibly get. I have no affiliation with Sawyer either. Thinking about getting a fish filter to use as a pre-filter. Mac just said that. Anything to help. Anything to help. Hey, Uber Viking. Let's see. Will they allow us through the Illinois going into lockdown, being we're from Wisconsin? They should. If they have checkpoints, all you got to do is tell them, listen, we're going to the airport to pick up my daughter, and then we're coming right back to Wisconsin. Lockdown is not saying that you can't travel still. You can still travel. What they're locking down is they're telling people to shelter in place. They're telling people not to go to work. Okay, so that's what's going to affect that. So that's what they're telling people is to shelter in place, not go to work. They haven't gotten more stringent yet. I think that's coming. I think you will see roadblocks and checkpoints. I think that will be coming. When are you going to get your daughter? I would imagine it's probably in the next day or two. I would imagine. But you should be okay for right now. 2 weeks from now, you might not be able to get across that border. But but getting back to what I was saying, Sawyer water filters, guys. The biggest thing with the Sawyer water filter is don't let that membrane freeze. If you compromise the membrane and that membrane freezes, it's not going to be any good anymore. So you want to really baby that, take care of it, make sure it's not out in freezing cold temperatures and that type of stuff. So that's one just piece of advice I want to give you to remind you. But the Sawyer water filters are not expensive. I think it's like $30 maybe for that water filter, and 100,000 gallons of water to filter. That's a lot of water. That's going to keep you going for a long time. And I'm going to tell you what, dysentery is not the way you want to go out. Yes, dandelion greens are good. Oh, somebody's saying, I think somebody's replying to somebody else. Let's see. Just have to pick them when they're small, otherwise very bitter. Yeah. Thank you for that comment. That's very, very true. People's houses in LA are getting broken into and robbed for their food and supplies in Long Beach too. Doesn't surprise me. And I want you guys to remember something, okay? This is just the beginning. It's just the beginning. Now, I want to give another piece of advice. Sawyer has to be cleaned with clean water. Yes. Another thing I want to tell you, don't go using swamp water when you're using your Sawyer. What you want to do, if you can, filter that water through a shirt, through other things first to try to get the bigger particles out. Why overwork the system if you don't have to? Filter that stuff up first as much as you possibly can to get the garbage out of there, and then put it through your Sawyer system. Yeah, guys. Well, we're almost done here. I don't know. Maybe I'll go to 20 after again tonight, because we've been doing that pretty much lately here. Because I still got to do my whole other thing. I didn't even realize that the first hour is already almost done. It's amazing how fast that goes. Why does Africa hardly have cases? I'm sure Africa has got a lot of cases. We just are not hearing about it because they're not testing as like they are in different parts of the world. I mean, we're not testing enough here in the United States. You know, not. There's a lot of places in Africa where they're very underdeveloped. So they're probably got a lot of cases and people are dying, and they probably have no idea what's going on, which is sad. It's absolutely sad. Hey, L. Gibson. After this is over and the government spreads out the as on this, will they really be in deep? Hold on a second. Will we really be in deep with the hold on a second. I want to read this. Really be in deep, with our financial stability of this nation. Very scary. Yes, the financial situation is going to be really, really bad. I think not just for the United States, but for a lot of countries. I think it's going to be we're in for some hard times coming up. I really think so. Scary stuff happening. It really is. I mean, if you think about it financially, and again, all this stimulus that they're putting out there, and you got, like I said, you have the restaurant businesses are asking for a $450 billion bailout. I mean, that's crazy. Hunter Davis, they're getting ready here in Indy. I've seen 70 plus police vehicles and unmarked white trucks and National Guard base. I give it till Sunday. Yeah, you know what? Won't surprise me. You're going to see it happen all over the place. There will be checkpoints. There will be no unnecessary travel. They will try to lock everything down. Now, will they go and try to take away people's guns and stuff like that? You know what? I can't say that's going to happen or not going to happen. I'm just saying they're going to have their hands full trying to contain people in the beginning of this thing. As this spreads and more people get it, it's going to be pure panic. And you're going to see, excuse me, if you heard that, I apologize. A little gas. Like what's going on, the commenter just said that they're breaking into houses in Long Beach and out in California and stuff like that already. Okay? The National Guard is going to quell that stuff. You're going to see people locked up because of stupid behavior. Don't be one of those people doing stupid behavior. Lay low, protect what you have. I know somebody's laughing at me because I farted. Hey, it's a normal bodily function. Better out than in, right? So I come from a German background for a lot of it, German and Dutch. We're very gassy people. That's all I'm going to say. So, oh boy, I digress, right? So, guys, anyway, if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, if you would shoot a thumbs up, I absolutely would appreciate it to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time. And again, if you are not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. And make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications. Oh, hold on a second. I want to see somebody said something about South Africa. We must pay for tests. Oh, wow. Parley Star just said that. In South Africa, they have to pay for tests. So how many people can afford to do that, you know? We have Jeanette. Greetings from Rochester. Right down the road, Jeanette. I lived in Rochester for years and years and years, all over different parts of the city. Lived in Charlotte, lived in Greece, New York, lived in Scottsville. So all around her and all over in Rochester. Monroe Avenue, lived in Park Avenue. So she's going to know what I'm talking about. The rest of you will be like, I don't know what you're talking about, but Jeanette will know what I'm talking about. Lived, oh my God, a couple other different places as well. So yeah, definitely loved Rochester. Didn't have, way too many people though. I mean, I had to get back out into the country. Way too many people. Don't like that many people jammed up around me. I like my freedom. So play the fart game, yeah. Hey, it just came out on its own. I didn't even know it was going to happen. Does anyone know anyone that has the virus? That's a good question. Sonny just asked that. Sonny 1433. So let me ask you guys. We got 2,000 people in the chat. Does anybody know anybody that has the virus? Brian Nicholas just said yes. Jason said yes. BD said yes. Some said no. So we're looking at some people that said yes. I'm looking at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's quite a few people on here that are saying yes, that they know somebody that has the virus. So there you go. There's your answer to that question. And I think that was a very legitimate question, and thank you for asking it, and I appreciate that. Lake Avenue. No, I never lived on Lake Avenue. Or is that where you're at, Jeanette? Hold on a second. I'm going to go back there, I think. Oh, Wood Spirit 98, Lake Avenue. Okay. Yep. Lake Avenue's a trip. That's a trip down there. I worked at, when I was younger, and I will say this, and I will be honest with you guys, because I'm always honest. I was going to say, well, I worked at, and then I stopped. Worked at an adult bookstore when I was in my early 20s. That was an interesting life experience. And there was an adult bookstore on Lake Avenue, and I filled in over there. So, yeah, very interesting. It will definitely give you an education. I will say that. You see a lot of interesting things. So, Veronica says gross. Hey, you know what? It was a job. I made good money doing it. Didn't bother me. Whatever anybody wants to do is their own business. It's like now everybody just go on the internet. So, you want dirty movies or dirty magazines, you order them on the internet. That's all people do now. So, but there are still adult bookstores around. And it's funny because here's the thing is all the people say, oh, I never went to an adult bookstore, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, they don't stay in business because nobody visits. Okay. That's all I'll say on that one. Oh, you used to drag race on Lake Avenue? That's cool. Well, you should see. I don't know if you've been there anytime soon, but the last time I was down in that area, the roads were atrocious. So, but once you get down by the lake more, it's pretty cool down there. So, he was young and needed the money. That's right. Little boy Blue, he needed the money. Anybody knows what I'm talking about? Andrew Dice Clay. He had his nursery rhyme jokes. Hey, Jay Medic. Ohio governor says he will tell the public if the National Guard or other orders will have other orders than for food. Hold on a second. Let me just... True, your thoughts. Oh, I think that they will use the National Guard to try to keep control. I think you're going to see... I'm going to tell you what. Bad behavior is on its way. Ed's life was an open book. Hey, Mac, yeah. I'm going to tell you what. I have had a very, very colorful life, and I'm not going to lie. I've seen stuff that other people could only dream of seeing, and I've seen it firsthand. Very interesting. But, it was cool. It was definitely interesting. Didn't hurt me none. It helped me grow as a person, I can tell you that. So, But oh, I know what. I want to do this really, really quickly. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Hold on. I want to give a big shout out and a thank you to this person. They told me that I don't have to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I went down to my P.O. box the other day. We went down, Heather and I went down Sunday, I think, and it said you have a package. So I had to go back and get my package. Well, what I got, Sharon Ray, W-R-A-Y, okay? She is an author. And if you see on here, it says signed by Sharon. This is her books. And she signed the book here. All right. She sent me that one. So this one is called In Search of the Truth. Everyday Deep Desire. So she's obviously a romance writer, guys. Okay. So there's that book. And that one is signed as well. And I'll open that up. Show you that. There, she signed it. And then the last one, One Dark Wish, and that is another one of her books. So she sent me 3 of her paperbacks, okay? So I want to thank Sharon for that. Thank you very much. And I absolutely wanted to make sure I came on here and gave you a shout out. And so, again, okay, so if you want to go check out her website, especially all you ladies, if you like the romance stuff, it's Sharon, W-R-A-Y, so Ray with a W at the end, .com. So SharonRye.com. And I'll put that, if you can see that on the bottom. I don't know if you can. Hopefully you can. Okay. Sent me the bookmarks with it, right? See all the different bookmarks. And then she sent some recipes here as well. Okay. So there's recipes on that side. We got pudding, whiskey sauce. We have Allison's brownies. Then we have peach French toast on that side, Juliet wedding cake, buttery cream frosting. So all this different information. So thank you very much, Sharon. I really appreciate that. And guys, if you're interested, if you like the romance stuff, please go check out her website. And that's Sharon, W-R-A-Y.com. Okay. The all-seeing cat, the fear and hype is making me more sick than the actual virus. Stay safe, Ed. Yeah, you know what is amazing to me, to be honest with you, and the one, and I can understand. Okay, there's a lot of people questioning what's going on in the whole 9 yards, because let's go over the U.S. numbers again. U.S. numbers: 19,286 cases, 250 deaths. Okay, and 125 recovered. So, again, that standard answer is going to come out, well, we lose more people to the flu every year, which is absolutely true, okay, at this point. But if you ever seen what they're doing now with what is going on, to the extent calling up the National Guard, telling people to go home, shelter in place, don't go to work, you know what devastation that's going to have on our economy? I mean, and then, they still have to run the government and get everything going. Where's that money coming from? If that tax revenue is not coming in, how is that going to happen? We're in for some very interesting, scary times coming up. Okay, very, very different things are it's going to be weird. So, but pay attention. I don't know what's going on. I think we all need to be careful. Stephen Kahn, why are we being told to only get tested when we show symptoms? Isn't it kind of late? Not for the individual, but late for the people who came into contact with. Again, I couldn't disagree with you more. I think that there should be widespread testing, especially in hotspots like New York City. They should be testing everybody that they possibly can. So, yeah, it's not making any kind of sense. The way it's been handled has been terrible. And for the people, the Trump haters out there that always want to blame the president, he's not the end all be all. Okay, it's the medical community in whole was underprepared for this type of situation. Not enough stock on hand. Like I said, I worked in my last job that I was at. I worked at a rehab unit in a nursing home. They never had enough stock of supplies ever. And you would scramble around looking for this, that, or the other thing, and you'd have to go to other units. Do you have this or do you have that? And they would go and they would find it and give it to you. I mean, it was ridiculous, the lack of supplies available in, just in a regular nursing home on an every regular day basis. Now, with this virus and what is going on, they're going to be overwhelmed, absolutely overwhelmed. Bill Gates nailed it a few years ago. Yeah, he did that thing in 2015. I saw that interview, and he said the next big thing would be a pandemic. Not surprised at all. I'm going to, and as I told you guys, in my top 5, you go back and look at my older videos. When people have asked me what were my top 5 concerns, pandemic was in my top 5. I absolutely saw that as a real possibility of happening, and so we want to place fault, we want to place blame. Let's place fault and blame where it really belongs. If you really want to look at who is to blame, China. Right from the very beginning, they lied about everything that's gone on. They've continued to lie. They've continued to lie about the numbers of people dead and dying. If they had come out and been truthful in the very beginning, all the different countries around the world could have been much better prepared for this. Now, would we have been able to handle it even then? No. No. Again, on a daily basis, 95% or hospitals are at 95% capacity. That's without the virus. So think about that. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do what I normally do at the end because we're getting closer here. It's already 9 after, and I want to make sure I do this because it's what we do every time. We are a huge family, my friends. We are Legion. We are all over the world. We are a huge network of people that really, truly can make a difference now, during, and after an event, okay? It's not about just getting through the event. It's about thriving on the other side as well. And that's what my goal is, has always been, to thrive and to live comfortably and to help the people, as many people as I can. Where is everybody from tonight? We got Binghamton, Alabama, Savannah, New York. Odin is great. Yes, he is, Mike Knife. Oklahoma. Let's see. Savannah, New York. Georgia. Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. Minnesota, Alabama. Binghamton, Alabama. New Mexico. Western New York. We have Orlando, Florida. Maine. Victoria. Let's see. Canada again. We have Houston, Texas. Let's see. Florida, Vegas. Dallas, Texas. New York City, Connecticut, Georgia, Germany, Oklahoma, Michigan. I saw Indiana, North Carolina, Ohio, Orlando, Florida, Central Texas, Oklahoma, South Florida, Toronto, Canada, Tennessee, Germany, Geneseo, New York. Very nice. You're very close to me. Quebec in Canada, Oregon, Massachusetts, Northern Idaho, Rochester in the UK, Germany again. Let's see. We have Sandusky, Ohio, Dallas, Texas, Norway. Somebody's got China on there, which is probably not true. We got Montreal, Los Angeles, South Carolina, Ireland, Quebec, Clarendon, New York, Marion, Ohio, South Carolina again. Let's see. The Adirondacks, New Jersey, West Virginia. Let's see, Pennsylvania, Boston, Watkins Glen, New York, Detroit, Fort Myers in Florida, Page, Arizona. We got Michigan, Arizona again, Colorado, Ludenbach, Texas, Toledo, Ohio, Detroit again, Kansas, Detroit, East Tennessee. Guys, we're all over the country. We're all over the world. We're this huge, huge family. We're this huge network of people. And that's why I say Legion, because Legion stands for we are many. We are all over. There's a lot of us, okay? The Roman legions is a good example. So El Monte, Los Angeles, California. Very nice. Georgia, Toronto, Ohio, Northeast Philly, Pennsylvania. Let's see. Point Blank, Texas. Costa Rica. Wow, that's very cool. Custer, South Dakota. Los Angeles. Niceville, Florida. Dayton, Ohio. Olivet, Florida. I'm not sure if I said that wrong. Probably not. Cape Cod, Australia. You guys, like I said, we're all over the place. And we're this huge network of people, and we are the ones truly that can make a difference when the time comes. The biggest thing, and I want to just remind everybody, do not panic at this time. Panic is the enemy. We do not want to panic. There's going to be plenty of people out there panicking. Keep a level head. Stay focused. Protect what you have from everyone. Do not let anyone come in, and I don't care if they got a badge and say, well, we're allowed to confiscate this. Don't let those people take nothing, because you don't know if they're legit, number one, or not. And even if they are legit, they have no right to take what you worked hard to save, okay? Protect what you have. And I'll tell you what, if enough people fight back, they'll stop doing it, okay? That's the reality of it. They'll look for easier targets. They'll look for soft targets. So, but, just be smart, guys. Keep a low profile. Don't draw undue attention to yourself. And you're going to say, well, Prepper Nurse One, you do by being out here. And I do. And I know that, okay? But, again, I did this channel for a lot of reasons, when I got going. And one of them is to help people. And if that makes me a target because I help people, that's okay. That's part of the deal. And I get it. Okay. But I cannot even begin to tell you the number of tremendous people that I have met through the years, in person, talked to on the phone, been involved with, helped, the whole 9 yards. A lot of great people. And there's a lot of great people out here in our country and in the world. There's a ton. And, like I said, I really think that we all really should try to work together. I want to thank my moderators who continue every night that I'm on here, even nights when I'm not supposed to be on and I come on, like last night. I want to thank you guys for continuing to do a great job, keeping the chat clean. I appreciate that. You guys just do a fantastic job, and I'm really, really grateful for all of you that take your time to come in here and do that every time. I do appreciate that. Guys, like I said, everything that's going on, it's a lot of insanity, and it's a lot to process, and there's a lot of information being thrown at us all the time. Pay attention, okay? Absolutely pay attention. Thank you, Prepper Chris One and Lady Kickboxer. Thank you. I appreciate that. They're saying that they're honored, so thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Hey, Mountain Girl, we are all in this together. Stay aware, stay safe. Prepper Chris One rocks. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for the donation as well. You know what? Like I said, I'm just an average guy. I just decided in my head one day that I'm going to go off grid and I'm going to live off grid. And I wanted to share that journey with everybody. I sat in my basement for years doing videos talking about what I was going to do and prepping and getting ready and all that type of stuff. And, then we got out here and just things have taken off since we got out here. And we've come such a long, long way, and I plan on going a lot further way out here. By the time I die, I want this to be an example to what people should strive to do and realize. The cool thing with it, I want to, is people to realize that it takes time and effort, that nothing worthwhile happens overnight. And that's really the biggest lesson that I think I could tell anybody. We live in an instant gratification society, and anything worthwhile takes time, and it takes effort, and it takes hard work. So, thank you everybody for being here in the chat. I do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Again, real quick shout out to Marfugel. Get over to Marfugel News. Show Adam some support. Great guy, great channel. He does a great job. So go show him some love and, and do that, okay? Remember, guys, we are all in this together. That is important to remember. We're a big family. We really, truly are. We are a huge network of people. It is amazing how big we are if you really look at it. Work together. Try to help each other out, okay? Also remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. That's more important now than any time before because we really don't know what's going to happen. So to tell the people that you care about every day how you feel, that's important. Also remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you were trying to do, whatever you were trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from getting there is you. That's it. Nobody else can stop you. So stay positive, stay away from that negativity, and you're going to be fine. I hope everybody has a great night, and I will see you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse One, out for now.